All right, the Detroit Lions, after a rough start to the season, moved to 3-1, winning now 3 games in a row, 2 coming off pretty good AFC opponents. They went from the second worst defense in the league to the best defense in the league and won in all facets of the game. There really wasn't too much to be disappointed about today. I got my thoughts on something, but I'll save that to later on in the video. The Detroit Lions are now a Dallas Cowboy win away from being first in the division after the first quarter of the season. And just like the sky was falling after week 1, Dan Campbell said it the best. You come out, you have standards. We have raised the bar. We don't come out like that playing the way that we did. But now that sky is way back up because the Detroit Lions are playing the football that we are accustomed to them playing. Joe Flacco was terrible. We took a lot. This game came at a cost, though. We're going to find out later. Dan Campbell is going to let us know what he can today and let us know more tomorrow. I don't even want to talk about it, man, but I got to do it. All right, let's take a look at the stats. The Detroit Lions had 16 first down to the Cleveland Browns first downs, had passing first downs. It was 8 apiece, rushing first downs, 7 for the Cleveland Browns, and 6 for the Detroit Lions. First downs from penalties, 2-1 in favor of the Cleveland Browns. Third down efficiency, the Lions went 6 for 14. The Cleveland Browns went 3 for 14. Fourth down, the Lions, surprising. Oh my God, hold on. That was there last week. I don't know why that's there, but I'm going to get through it today. I don't know why that thing is there. It's driving me crazy, but I'm going to get through it. All right. Total plays, 65-56. Total yards, 249-277 in favor of the Detroit Lions. The Cleveland Browns only allowed 204 yards, I believe, in total. They allowed 57 on the ground and less than 160 through the air, and the Detroit Lions topped them both in that regard today. Total drives, 14-13. Yards per play, the Detroit Lions. I mean, this offense, Johnny Morton said, hold my beer and everything else because I'm going to show you how this offense is run. Yards per play, 4.9 for the Detroit Lions, 3.8 for the Cleveland Browns. Passing, 168. So we just passed, I think, Cleveland's average to 170 for them. Completion, Joe Flacco, 16 for 35. Jared Goff had probably the worst day of the year outside of that. Actually, the Green Bay game was pretty decent outside of that one interception. But as far as completion percentage, Jared Goff had probably his worst day with going 16 for 27. Again, the Cleveland Browns was the #1 defense in the NFL, allowing, they were doing their thing. But today was a game that was won in all 3 phases for the Detroit Lions. Yards per pass, 4.5 to 6.2 for the Lions. Interceptions thrown, 1 for Jared Goff and 2 for Joe Flacco. Jared Goff, for the 3rd straight game, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, the 3rd straight game did not get sacked. After 4 sacks and getting none in the against the Green Bay Packers. Jared Goff has not been sacked for the past 3 games. I know it's been the past 2, but I want to say all the way back to the Bears game. After that, showing that the offensive line had that first game. I think more reason to play during the preseason, if you ask me. We sacked Joe Flacco 3 times. Put in the comment section below, how many of them came from the defensive line? Y'all was on my head last week, but I told y'all, I know what the heck I'm talking about. Rushing, 79 to 109. Rushing attempts, 27 for the Cleveland Browns, 29 for the Detroit Lions. Yards per rush, 3.8 to 2.9. Red zone, we went 3 for 3. That's how you win games. Cleveland, 1 for 2. Penalties, 6 teams, 6 apiece for both teams. The Browns had 44 yards. The Detroit Lions had 36. Turnovers, 3 for the Browns and 1 for the Detroit Lions, including 1 fumble and 2 interceptions. Special teams touchdown. This is the first time this season we got to see this, and the Detroit Lions with that Khalif Raymond punt return, he was not going to be denied. I've been keeping my eye on Khalif Raymond. He's been feeling some type of way. Possession, 28 minutes to the Cleveland Browns, 31. Now, let's try and get this out the way before Coach get in front of the podium. We'll take a look at the stats a little later. Back to the pass rush. A lot of y'all thought everything was fine and dandy. How many of y'all got up and thought the world was over when Hutch went down? I thought it was a repeat of last year. I literally was freaking out. My heart was jumping out of my chest. I thought he was gone. I could not believe what I was seeing. I had all these thoughts running through my head, and I'm like, yo. And then he gets up. He was over there on the sideline, looked like he was joking a little bit. I was like, don't you do that, bro. You should be able to get fined for playing. You know, I don't. He didn't do it on purpose, but still, it felt miserable. I was like, yo. But we did lose a couple of guys. Kirby Joseph went down early. He was able to come back in. We lost DJ Reed. It looked quite serious. We also lost Terrion Arnold, okay? Lot of this victory definitely came at a cost. It took out both of our starting cornerbacks. And it's crazy because the cornerback is the position that Brad has really focused a lot of resources on, and it looks like he might have to do it again coming up. So I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. Dorsey was out there, and that is not something you want to see. Maddox came in when Kirby went down for a little bit. That's something you don't like. We don't want to see that. So I'm very curious to know the severity of the injuries. I think that Reed might be a little worse. He got carted off. Terrion was already having a bad day. Speaking of bad days, Jamison Williams was having a bad day. Looks like John was trying to force the ball to him over and over and over. It just wasn't working. Jamison Williams had catchable balls that he dropped. But what I did like is that Jared Goff, they seemed like they were feeding him a little too much, trying to force it to him. But then when they finally got it going, he made a really big catch. And, you know, hopefully his confidence didn't take a hit at all. Just a very frustrating day for the Detroit Lions offense. It really was. Monty was frustrated. You could see Gibbs frustrated. I mean, everybody was frustrated. Brian Branch is a dog, can't change the way he plays, but he got to clean some stuff up. He took away a sack fumble from Hutch, who was a one-man wrecking crew today. For everybody that thought the pass rushing woes were fixed, they are not. Joe Flacco is probably the stiffest quarterback in today's NFL. And we could only one man was even close to this guy. Go back and watch it. Hutch was feeling some type of way today. Speaking of feeling some type of way, Khalif Raymond. I mean, you talk about a guy that's been feeling some type of way. You draft a third-round receiver. You've been putting him in, receiving punts or, you know, returning punts, kind of like on the offense here and there. The dude, not only did he take the ball away from Jacob Sailors, when he got that punt return, he was not going to be denied. Ran up in the stands, gave the ball to his wife, kissed her on the cheek, came down, celebrated. Khalif Raymond was feeling some type of way. It was a very frustrating day, but we got the win. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what we're going to celebrate. There's some work that needs to be done on this team, but to put up 34 points against the number one defense in the NFL, and they played like it. David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, it took a lot for them to get what they got. Taylor Decker, he had his hands full today. Wherever Miles was landing up, everybody had their hands full. So can't be mad at the Lions offensive line for struggling against an elite pass rusher, and struggle they did. But they managed to keep the one sack that Jared Goff did get was negated by a Browns penalty. So the third straight game that he has not been sacked. And that says a lot for Fraley. I think Fraley is a guy, he's the next guy that you got to make sure stays on this team. Fraley cannot go anywhere. With what he was able to do was essentially two rookies on the line. He can't go anywhere. Speaking of offensive line, Taylor Decker, man, he got to get it together. But the Detroit Lions, man, with a convincing victory, I'm very curious to know where their offense is going to land after today. What is everybody going to have to say? I am not going to change any way that I felt before the game or before the first game of the season or after, right? It was a bad first showing. We should have been upset. We were. Lions got it together. Even Dan Campbell admitted that. The bar has been raised. So everybody had every right to freak out, right? After last week, I was not convinced about this pass rush. And today, one man, even everybody's favorite number 2, Muhammad, was nowhere to be found, right? I know he was dealing with the knee injury. I'm not saying that it was his fault. What I'm saying is that it's last week was an exception to the rule, right? This week is what we usually see. Nobody, and again, watch the tape. Hutch he was working the right tackle. I mean, this dude could not keep up with him at all. He was having a field day. So Lions move up to 3-1 and right now lead the division with a Dallas Cowboy victory on Sunday Night Football. The Detroit Lions will lead the NFC North after 3 weeks. Got a big game next week and a big game the week after that, man, the Kansas City Chiefs. So no post-game show next week. I will be in Cincinnati, maybe one from Kansas City after I get back to the hotel because I'll be gone for the next 2 weeks, all right? Give me your thoughts down in the comment section below. We'll know more about Terrion tomorrow. And Reed, I think Reed is the more severe, but it did not look good. The trainer was holding up his left leg. It looked like he couldn't put it straight. He looked like he was in obvious pain. Usually a player knows, like, you know, but I don't know, man. It's like, it's almost all of a sudden because I was just thinking about it too, how we went 3 games and I mean, relatively healthy. And then we just get smacked. Our 2 starting corners have to leave the game. Right. So, and one of them was not even really being targeted for the first couple of games. Right. So I instantly thought, what is Brad Holmes cooking? Right. Because we know he always trying to make this team better. So we'll see. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. Man, this was a big win today for sure.